Hi team. Um, I am just about to start, our tutorial on um, creating a questionnaire, extracting questions from a question bank, and this I'm going to do it with Captivate. So let me quickly launch Captivate. As you can see, I'm using Captivate version 8, but I've tested and I've found out that you can use Captivate version 4 also to do the same task. Okay, so for people that have an older version of Captivate, you still should be able to do this stuff. So let's start a new project. And I'm going to open up a blank project. I've set the, notice that, I've set the canvas at 640 by 480 because this should pretty much um, fit into the layout that we have for Moodle. Okay, so because we have it in the right panel and the whole quiz should be appearing inside that panel and people don't have to scroll through. And I'm going to click create. So you can see that it's creating a new project. Let me just scale it up so that it occupies the whole page. All right. So this is the default template that you have for Captivate. And just forget about this because this doesn't make any sense, at least for the quiz that we have right now. What you have to concentrate on for this particular task at hand is the menu panel on top. So if you can see, there's an option called quiz right there, and within the quiz there is a sub menu that's called the question pool manager. Just click on that, and this essentially is your question bank. Would you believe that? Anyways, so let's create our own different types of question pools like we have in Calibrant. So let me rename pool 1 to knowledge, and then create one for understanding, synthesis, and analysis. And it's not restricted. The options, the pools are not restricted to only 4. You can even have one more. We can name it as test. And if you don't want one, you can always go there and delete it. So you have 4 pools right now. And the next task is what is interesting. So say if you want 10 questions with a knowledge, all you have to do is click on the plus icon here. Voila! You have all the different types of questions that are supported in Captivate 8, at least for now. I'm sure this list is going to, increase, and they are going to add more types of questions within it. But right now, I think the set that we have is more than what we have for Moodle. So let me go ahead and pick 4 random types of question that I want. I've chosen multiple choice, fill in the blank, and matching question. Notice that there's something else called rating, but this is not essentially for our type of questions. But it might come in handy at some point in time, but let's not head there right away. Okay, we can explore into that later on. So I've chosen 1, 2, 3, 4 types of question right now, and I click OK. So notice that it creates a pool of 4 questions under knowledge. So next, let me go to understanding, and let's say I have, usually we'll have probably 20 questions or 30 questions per pool, but for this particular demo I'm just having a few questions so that it's easier for us to comprehend what's happening. So let me choose a true or false question, and then once again a fill in the blank, a short answer, and then hotspot. Hotspot is an interesting stuff which is not there in Moodle because it lets you have a screenshot on the stage, and the user can click on any particular region in the stage and then say submit. Okay, so this will come in pretty handy when it comes to identifying one particular button in a tool or one particular procedure or something like that. Okay, so I'm sure you guys will explore more as you have access to this particular tool. So let me say, so I've added 4 questions under this pool. to cut short on time, let's just add a couple of questions for synthesis, say multiple choice and true or false. And then in analysis, let's add a couple of more questions, short answer and magic. So there you go. So you have 2 questions in analysis, 2 in synthesis, that makes 4, and then 4 in understanding, 8, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. So you have 12 questions. You have a question pool of 4 and a question bank of 12 questions, and you say close. So now, if you look at your time frame, this is not the same for all versions of Captivate, but for this version of Captivate, you get it right beneath your stage area. This is called the stage area, wherein you see the actual questions. You have a drop down here, and that also has your different types of questions. Wasn't that pretty easy? All right, so let's go to knowledge. So now that you have the types of question that you want to have, in your question bank, you can just straight away go here, double click, and say, this is where my knowledge question 1 goes. That's just for an example. Okay, so this is how you just type in the questions, and you just go in here and say answer 1, answer 2. So if you want to make this, let's see, this is a multiple choice question, and you have only 2 answers here. If you say I want to add maybe 4 answers, all you have to do is there's something called properties. It's already selected by default here. If you see at the right hand corner, underneath there's something called a tab that's called quiz. So click on that, and you have quite a few options there. You can take your own time and explore all these options. They are pretty basic, and just looking at the checkboxes should indicate what it is about. Okay, so let's say we want this particular multiple choice question to have 5 questions, and just type in 5, and voila, on the left, if you notice, you have A, B, C, D, and E now. So that's how easy it is to populate questions inside. So okay, let me quickly jump into a different section now that we are in this particular staging area, because this was one question that Cecile was questioning about. So she wanted to know, is it possible if we can give feedbacks? Say if someone gives the right answer or a wrong answer, and you want to reward him for the right answer, or if you want to guide him to wherever the correct answer is when he provides a wrong answer. This is where it happens. Okay, so all you need to do is, there are 3 sections hidden beneath that particular box that you see. So just move one of these boxes to the top, move the other box to the bottom. So this is where your correct feedback is. So if you wanted to say, hey, you understood the concept well. And if he's given a wrong answer and you want to guide him to the appropriate lesson or whatever, just go here and say, hey, that was close. I'm at a loss for words here. What do we say here? Try going through chapter 3, 2 or 3 again. Whatever it is, whatever feedback that you want to give. And then what you do is you just rearrange this in the same place so that when you publish your final content, it doesn't look ugly. And the pop-ups don't look scattered at different places. So in a nutshell, that's how you provide reviews, and that's how you add question types. The same is true for all types of questions. Say if you have a fill in the blank question, all you need to do is go to the quiz section, and you have a plethora of options that you can do. The only thing that you want to be sure of, now that we are trying to mimic Calibrand, is always make sure that your number of attempts is set to 1. If at all we end up having an assessment, we want people to take multiple takes on the same question. You can always increase this, but I don't see that happening, at least for the plan that we have right now. So interaction ID, all these things, don't bother about it because that's completely backend and you don't have to mess with it. So this is essentially how you populate your questions. Have I missed something in this? Okay. So now that you've got an idea as to how to populate the questions within the question bank, let's see how to insert these questions. All right. So to insert questions, what you do is once again go to the menu item quiz, and within quiz there's something called random quiz slide. So just say click on that, and you have something called random quiz question. And if you can see, it says link to knowledge. So what you can do is, if you want to have 10 questions, you can just copy this particular style. I'm using Command C on a Mac. You can use Control C and then Control V. I'm doing it multiple times. See, if I have 10 questions, I can just copy and paste it multiple times. And next is when the fun starts. Okay. So as you can see, the random question is linked to knowledge, and I've navigated to the quiz panel here. And if you see, I have something called the question pool here. Once I drop it down here, I can either change the first type of question on the slide to understanding. If you notice, it has changed here to understanding. And notice that the questions here also change. Say for instance, now we are in the understanding pool, and it has 2 questions. In the next, it's knowledge. So if we go to knowledge, we'll have 4 questions here, and that's the knowledge. And the third question can be from the pool of synthesis. The fourth can be from the pool of analysis. And then once again, you can maybe choose understanding and then synthesis again. And you can just let the last question be knowledge. This just for an example. You can have any type of questions. I'm just showing you how to pick and choose stuff from here. And also notice that you can add the whole question type and how many questions you want per question bank here also. It's not that you always have to go to the main thing and go to the pool manager and then add questions. You can do it even from this particular panel here in the quiz. Was there something else that you should know? Yeah, there's something called the quiz results. There's nothing that you have to do with this. And also, I forgot to mention, the first panel, you can either have an introduction to your quiz, or you can maybe have instructions about you have 20 questions in this assessment. You also have 20 minutes to wrap it up. Something on those lines. You can just have some instruction for the learner before he takes the assessment. There's one more thing. There is something called, you can have timed questions. Okay. This was also something that Cecile was inquiring about. So let me quickly go to one of these questions. Say, supposing we are in the multiple choice question and we wanted to give, say, 300 seconds or something like that. Okay. So there's an option in the quiz tab here which says time limit. And by default, it's 300 seconds. So you can change it accordingly. So what else is there? I think I've pretty much covered whatever we had. I think it's up to you guys to explore how the product's functionality works. Let me know if you encounter any troubles or if you need more information. I'm always there to help you out. And I believe this wraps up task LMS 1036 and the first task of 1037. Just to let you know, this was captured using Adobe Presenter Video Express, as you can see there at the bottom of my screen. Next project is to document how Adobe Express works. So I hope you had fun, and I hope you had something to take away from this presentation. Thank you, guys.